gosh, you guys, I need this as much as you do. Just traveling and just been, busy and running around. My body's feeling pretty tight and stiff. So you probably feel the same. So speaking of that, this class is really inspired by our aging bodies. And we're all in that same boat together with our aging bodies. But aging doesn't necessarily mean it's not limited to 50s, 60s, 70s, and what have you. That's not what aging body is. Aging body is 20, 30, 40, and even 12. The moment that we're born, our body starts to age. And so this is really about meeting your body exactly where it is, and just being okay with the achiness and the stiffness that we bring. It's just what it is, and the practice today is really just to allow us this avenue to feel better in these bodies, to just feel better as we travel through our day and we take on these other activities. Yoga can really be this secret weapon of everything else that you do. It just makes everything that we do in our lives that much easier when we have a regular practice. So that's what I'd like you to do today, is just to really intentionally move your body and adapt to whatever it is that you need to adapt for. Adjust for this pain and that pain and this ache and that ache. Adjust for it. Allow it. Be gentle and not get caught up in what you used to be able to do. I used to be able to do this when I was 20. Well, we're not really designed to continue those activities that we did when we were kids and younger, much younger. We're not designed to do that. And I'll tell you, you will age more gracefully with less pain and less suffering if you can just accept that fact. So let's get going. We'll sit nice and tall, and I'm going to have you just close down your eyes if you're comfortable with that. If not, just narrow your focus just a couple of inches out in front of your mat. And then just go ahead and notice how you're breathing right now in this moment. Also notice what you're bringing to your practice in your body. Relax the jaw. That's a common place where we hold a lot of tension. So a really nice way to do that is to create this position in the mouth. It's called fire point. Place the tip of your tongue right behind the back of your two front teeth, right where the teeth meet the roof of the mouth. And just notice when you do that, it unhinges the jaw. And that's a really good position to come back to time and time again in your practice, and even when not in your practice, when you're just cooking or cleaning or in a conversation that might be a little stressful. So this is a nice position for the tongue, as it really allows that softness to stay in the jaw and the neck area. And then let's just take a moment here to bring your hands to the heart center. This is just a beautiful gesture of respect for so many things, not just for the practice, but also for your body. Respect for yourself and others around you. Just the overall human condition. As we're all in this together, we are experiencing some uniqueness, some unique things in the body. We're similar but yet different. So have a deep respect for that. Good. Namaste to all of you. And then placing the hands back on top of your thighs, Sit nice and tall again, so renew the length of the spine. We're going to spend a little time on the foundational, pathway of yoga, so just really kind of connecting back to the foundation. Everything, develops very strong from a solid foundation, which is the beginning principles of our practice. So right now, as you're seated, try to put a Tadasana feel. Tadasana is the standing pose that we will be coming into here in a moment. But in the seated position, you want to bring the elements of that into this posture. So that means, and I'll turn to the side just for a moment so you can see, that means that we don't want to slouch, tilting the pelvis forward and letting the head pitch forward. It kind of breaks up this alignment. The clean alignment of bringing the ears over the shoulders and the shoulders over the pelvis allows you to feel better in your posture, in your body. It creates energy. Whereas if we sit like this and we kind of do these postures kind of just half-heartedly, then that creates a diminishment, and it's a reducing of our energy or vitality. So really important to try to get your alignment as best for your body as possible. So sitting here and bringing in the Jalabandha lock, so drop the chin down slightly towards the throat, and the chest, the sternum, is going to lift up towards the chin, so they kind of close that gap a little bit. And that's a nice lengthening to the back of the neck. Okay, and just take a moment to establish that. See how that feels in your body. And then from that place, we'll drop the chin down towards the throat, but don't let your body sink. Just drop the chin. It's isolating more in the neck. And just feeling that stretch in the back of your neck. And then let's just roll the chin over towards the right shoulder. So looking over towards your right. As far over that feels comfortable for you. And then we'll drop back down towards the chest and just roll over towards the left shoulder, looking over the left, as far over. Again, just that's comfortable for you. And then we'll do that a few times, just these little half movement here, half circle, just looking over the right, and then back down and over towards the left. So we're getting into the sometimes very stiff and sore neck that we come with, loosening that up. And we're going to add on to this, so the next time you're over to the right, stay to the right, and then start to draw a line up towards the ceiling, and then all the way over towards the left, back down towards the chest, and then back over to the right. So just continue to do these little circles. Now if this is painful at all, just reduce the circle, make it a little bit smaller, until your neck is a little looser, and then you can start to make a little more dynamic movement. And you might hear some things in the neck area, right? Some grinding, some clicking, maybe some crunching, just things adjusting and moving around. Good, let's do one more circle in this direction. And then as you're ready, we'll reverse it, go the other way. So if you need to renew the length of the spine, please be sure to do that. Sometimes we go back into our bad habits. Good. We're just going to give some love, and appreciation to each body part, so we can go and feel much better in our body. We have a sense of lightness, of being. We have a joyful body, an open heart. one more circle here. And then just coming right back up into that neutral and just notice how you feel in that neck area. And then we'll take a little side bend to the right. So bring your right hand out to the side. Maybe you want to place it on a block if that helps you to stay a little more lifted. Keep your left hip down and then just stretch that right arm away from your left hip, right over the ear. And if it feels better for you to look forward, or you could look up, or even looking down is just a nice soft quality. So just find a real gentle position for your neck. And now if you can deepen your breath, right? Deepening the breath, inhaling as you fill up on that left side of your body, opening up the ribs, the side body. Good, and let's come up and just try to renew the length as you reach up towards the ceiling. Both arms reach tall. Interlace the hands for a moment and just flip the palms up towards the ceiling. Notice if the head is pitching forward. You want to get that neck nice aligned, neutral neck. And then we'll take it over to the left. So take your left hand off to the side, reach up out of that right waist, keep your right hip rooted as you stretch that right arm away from your hip. And that really creates quite a significant stretch on that right side. And again, just placing your neck in a comfortable position. Good, and then inhale, come up, and again, we'll bring both arms up above your head, interlace the hands, turn them inside out, flip them up. Good, and then let the arms come down out to the side, very intentionally, stretching them out to the side and placing the hands back on your lap or knees, thighs. And then we're just gonna start to circle in the pelvis. So getting a little more movement in the low back. Feel free to sigh, whenever you feel the urge. And then let's reverse it. We'll go the other direction. I guess you could say that this practice would be viewed as very medicinal. And so this is your medicine for your body. But it's also, on a deeper level, it's medicine for the mind, right? Creating a calm nervous system. Good, and then let's come right back up through the center. And then I'm gonna have you take your legs out wide. So that'll feel good after being in that cross-legged position. You might feel a little achy and stiff, okay? You're not alone. And then just pump out the knees a little bit, just to create a little bit of a shaking. And then let's just flex and point the feet, maybe circle out your ankles a few times. Just allow that blood flow to nourish the joints in your knees and your ankles. And if you can remember which foot was in front of the other, we're going to do the opposite. So now go back to the cross leg, taking the one that's not so comfortable for you, not your go-to. That would be your opposite. Kind of interesting about this, women usually have the left foot close to the body and the right foot would be in front. That's just a natural thing that we do. And men will do the opposite. They'll put the right foot close to the body and left in front. So just kind of notice what your tendency was. Sitting nice and tall, the foot that's in front, you're gonna notice the stretch in that hip. Okay. And then we'll take another side bend to the right. So bring your right hand off to the side, reach up out of that left waist, keeping your left hip nicely rooted, and then stretch that left arm away from that hip to create that desired stretch. Try to straighten that arm a little bit more. Just really getting into the side body. Good, and then coming up, and then interlace the hands above your head again, flip the palms and turn them inside out like you're pressing the ceiling away from you. And notice what happens to your chin, your head. It might pitch forward or back. You just neutralize it. Stretch up, up, up. And then we'll take it over to your left now. Reach up and out of that right waist. Very nice. And then coming back up one more time, we'll interlace the hands, turn them inside out. And then just do these little circles with your upper body, just little circles. Anchoring through the pelvis, circling through the upper body, and then go the other direction. Getting the ribs to move a little bit. Good, and then let's take the arms down again, place them on top of your thighs. Just take a moment to reconnect back to your breath, please. Creating more of a balanced cadence. So your inhale is equally matched with your exhale. Good, then take the arms out to the side. Big inhale, open up. And sweep the right arm underneath the left elbow. So you want your elbows to cross. And then just wrap and twist the best you can. If you can't quite do that, you just reach for your opposite shoulder blades, like you're just giving yourself this big hug, and then pull the shoulders down. So that's gonna give you that nice stretch. If you can wrap, that's good too, either way. And then just squeeze down into your chest, so everything is pulling down away from your ears. Nice flushing for the back of the shoulders. And then on your next inhale, open the arms wide into cactus. So really wide across your chest. Squeeze the shoulder blades together and maybe even look up a little bit. Nice, and then we'll sweep the opposite arm. So get your left arm underneath the right. Cross, wrap and twist the best you can, or just reach for opposite shoulders. Pull down. If you have the little rope wrapping arms, you're going to squeeze down into the chest, but lift the chest. Pull the shoulders back and down. And just take some nice deep breaths into whatever you're feeling in the shoulder, the back, the neck. We'll take that open wide across your chest again. Pop your chest up. See if you can squeeze the elbows towards your ribs a little bit. And then good. And then place the hands right on top of your thighs. Nice. Take the legs out wide again. So again, get that blood flow to rush back into your legs. And then if you want to, if your body will allow you, bring your hands in front of you. But if that caused you to do this, right, you're rounding, then just place the hands behind you so you get nice and lifted, nice long spine. Remember, Tadasana is the foundational pose. Flex your feet, firm your legs. So all I want you to do is just feel the stretch. That's it. It's pretty early in the practice, so, go slow. Just feels good to slow things down. All right, and let's come back up and we'll slide the soles of the feet together. Allow your knees to go out to the side, a little bit of a Baddha Konasana shape, but more diamond shape. So let your feet go out in front of you just a little bit. And then reach up out of the waist on your inhale, and then exhale, start to move towards, nose towards your toes. Just in that direction. So even though this is a rounding spine here, you want to do that with as much length as you can first. And then you'll allow your shoulders to roll forward at the end, let your head drop down. And just take a couple breaths there. Good, and then let's make our way back up. And now we'll make our way onto tabletop, hands and knees, please. You could use the blanket as a way to cushion your knees. A little extra padding, I think I might do that. And then place the hands directly underneath your shoulders, knees directly underneath your sit bones. And then we're going to start to move the fingers to face out to the side. Place the heels of your hands on your mat and the fingers will be off the mat. And we're just going to take these lateral shifting side to side. So shift over to the right wrist, right shoulder, and then over to the left. Just starting to get into the wrist and the forearms, which actually travels up into the shoulders and the neck. Just moving gently side to side. Back to center, and now we'll just continue to circle the hands all the way to face back towards the knees. This is definitely a little bit stronger, so if you need to walk your knees in a little bit to make that more accessible, that's always a good idea. And then just start to move the knees back to your own comfort level, your own range. And now we'll take the movement back and forth, just a little bit back, so you feel the stretch, and forward. A little bit back. Maybe the heels of the hands lift just a little bit. This is a great antidote, right, for all the phones and computers that we're on these days. Nice, and then let's turn the hands back around. You're going to feel pretty achy. You're not alone. Walk your knees in all the way, and then curl the toes under. So we're just going to go right from the wrist to the toes. Push back towards the heels, and then forward towards the wrist. So just take that forward and back movement a few times. Should feel pretty good. Just, stretch out the toes. But it also can be kind of intense if you're, have tight feet. Nancy, I know that you have really tight feet sometimes. So this is probably really intense, so go easy. Over time though, your feet will really start to open up. The toes will stretch. Joints are more nourished. Okay, let's keep the weight back and then walk the hands underneath your shoulders. So this is the first step. This might be enough. If you want to do a little bit more, then you can sit right on top of the heels. Optional is to also stand on the knees with the toes curled under. They both work. Just depends on, where you are. And relax the shoulders. One of my new favorites is to really get into the ankles here. So take your hands forward and then lift the knees up. So now you're at this somewhat of a squat at the back of your mat, and allow the weight of the heels just to drop down. So you feel a nice stretch in your calf and ankles. And then you have to leverage your upper body for balance here. So just bringing your hands a little bit closer. Lift your chest and lift the heels so you're really high on top of the toes, pressing your insteps more forward as much as you can, stretching your ankles. Good, and then the opposite, drop the heels, bring your weight forward, really drop into the weight. Let the ankles relax. And then again, onto the balls of the feet, high up like a ballerina, pressing the insteps forward. And then drop down Good, very good. And now we'll just drop the heels and lift the hips. Walk your feet so that they're outer hip distance apart. And bend your knees, you know, allow for some space, allow for some softness in the back of the legs. Let your upper body just drape. Relax your head, maybe give it a little shake, yes and no. And if you're feeling pretty open and you can start to get your legs a little straighter without rounding your spine, that will be your guide. You know, if you can do this with a long spine. But just start to create a little more stretch in the back body. One more breath here. Good, and then let's bring the hands on the hips. Wrap your shoulders and elbows back towards each other. Press down in the feet and come up with a nice flat back. Whew. Place the hands on the small of your back, fingers facing down, like you're putting them in your back pocket. And then just lift the side bodies. You lift the chest, lift the side bodies up, wrap your shoulders and elbows towards each other. And then press your hips forward. So you're just giving yourself a little low back release, maybe looking up and back, a little bit of a back bend. And then back up. Good, and then just relax the arms alongside the body, palms face forward. I want you just to establish this Tadasana, because this is the foundational pose that every pose in yoga comes from. So this is a good opportunity to notice what you have a tendency. Do you pitch your chin forward? Do you pitch your thighs forward so you look like this? So this is the time to clean all that up so you feel better. So bring the shoulders back, and ears will be stacked right over the shoulders, shoulders right over the hips right over the knees, and knees over the ankles. And lift and spread your toes, and then try to anchor down through the big toe, the little toe, and right in the center of your heel. On your next inhale, you'll take this nice intentional stretch. Stretch the arms out towards the side and up towards the ceiling, and then bring the hands to the heart as you exhale. So we're going to do that a couple times, just circling through the arms. Reach up more, like you're really trying to open up the ribs, and then exhale, hands to the heart. Good, and one more time, deep breath in, and long breath out, exhale. Good, we're gonna move on from there. Inhale, out and up. Bend your knees and bring the hands right down the center. Forehead, thumbs to the forehead, thumbs to the chest, and all the way down to the floor. Let your head drop. Slide your hands to the front of your shins and reach the chest away from your hips and your thighs. So you get a nice long spine. And then exhale, folding back in, a little deeper maybe. Hands on the hips, press down, look forward, and come up with a nice flat back. And then relax the arms. Good, so we're gonna take that a couple more times. It's called a half vinyasa. And what I want you to do is really focus on the flow of your breath matching the movement of your body. All right, inhale, stretch out all the way up to the top, full lungs. And then exhale, hands, thumbs to the forehead, thumbs to the chest, and then all the way down into your forward fold. Slide the hands to the front of the shins, reach out, lengthen as you inhale, and then fold as you exhale. Hands on the hips, again, press down to rise. Root to rise, and then relax the arms. Good, 2 more like that. Inhale, stretch up, maybe a little fuller. And then exhale all the way. Thumbs to the brow, to the heart, and then to the floor. Slide the hands to the front of the shins, reach the chest, lengthen out. And then folding in as you exhale. Hands on the hips, press down to rise. And then exhale, relax the arms. Good, let's do one more round. Inhale, stretching up, full lungs, full extension. Exhale, center, brow, heart, all the way down. Reach out and lengthen as you inhale, finding more space in your spine. And exhale, fold a little bit deeper. Hands on the hips, we'll press down to rise. And then relaxing the arms. Ah, good. That's like a little meditation and movement. It's so nice. We'll reach the arms up on the inhale and then take a twist on your exhale. So left arm forward, right arm back. And just look towards the right thumb. Good. And then inhale, back up through center. And then exhale, switch sides. Looking back. Let's do that a couple more times, just getting into the twist. Inhale and exhale, twist. And inhale and exhale, twist. So this is just moving the spine in all directions, right? So healthy. Back up through center, inhale, reach the arms up. And now just take the right arm right alongside your body. Reach up out of the left waist and just take a little side bend. Make sure the navel is in and up towards the spine so you stay out of your low back. And then coming back up, touch the palms above your head. Let the head drop back. And then take the other side. Reach up out of the right waist and stretch to the left. Keep your belly firm. Good. And then back up through center. Inhale, touch the palms above your head. And then bring your hands right down to the heart as you exhale. Just take a moment, again, to notice how you're feeling and to really respect and honor where you are today. And then we'll move into our shoulder circles. So bring the fingers in front of your shoulders, thumbs behind, and move the elbows way away from each other so you feel nice and open across your chest. And then as you inhale, you're kind of rounding the upper back a little bit. Bring the elbows together in front. They may or may not touch. And then start to reach the elbows up, all the way up, and then exhale, pull them back and down. So just start to make this big circle, as big as you possibly can. And then synchronizing the breath. So the inhale is bringing the elbows up. And the exhale back and down. And this is where the shoulders get kind of noisy. You might hear some clicking for sure. It's just things adjusting. And we're increasing circulation, which is so good, so healing, so healthy. Let's go the other way now. Sweep the elbows out and up on the inhale. And then exhale forward and down. It's really important to synchronize your breath to the movement. So it becomes more intentional. And you stay very connected to what you're feeling, and you have less chances of injuring yourself when you pay attention to what you're doing and not thinking about your grocery list or all the things you have to do today. That's when we get injured. Okay, let's do one more big circle. Good, and then just relax the arms alongside the body. Take a moment just to feel. Okay, so now we're going to move into chair, which is really strengthening for the back, strengthening for the legs. But I want to really set this up properly. Oftentimes we can feel the knees kind of sickling in towards each other as we sit down, or they push way too far out and we bring weight to the pinky edges of the feet. So remember we talked about the foundation, and the foundation starts with your feet. Make sure you have even weight distribution on your feet. And you want to feel as if you're kind of pushing, you're going to stretch the mat out to the side with your feet. And when you do that, you feel your legs charge up, right? You feel that? So push the feet out a little bit energetically, and then sweep the arms up towards the ceiling, and just start to sit back, but don't lose that energy with the legs. That's what's governing your spine, keeping your spine healthy and strong. It all starts with the legs. Good, so just keep the big toe down. but push the energy out. You should feel that. Wake up the legs. Sit down a little deeper, and the arms can be out in front of you. They can be out to the side. They can bring the hands to the heart. You don't want to add more stress to your shoulders and neck. So be kind. This posture is designed to heat the body. So don't be surprised if you're starting to feel the heat rise. It's a good thing. We'll take one more breath here. Keep the energy in your legs. And then we're going to press all the way up to stand, reach the arms up, and then just rise up onto the tippy toes. So a little balancing. And as we age, that's one of the first thing that goes is our balance. So it's okay if you fall out of this several times. Just keep coming back. Practice. Whoa, losing my balance. And then very gently with control, see if you can lower the heels and then bring the hands to the heart. I know that's more challenging than it looks. Okay, let's reach the arms up on the inhale. One more, chair. Sit way back. Make sure the knees are tracking in the center of your feet. And you have that good energy in your legs, pushing them out. Lift the chest, drop your tailbone slightly so you stay out of your low back. Okay, another breath here. Sit down a little deeper. And then rise all the way up onto the tippy toes again. One last time. We don't really get anywhere or get better at our balance if we don't challenge ourselves a little bit. So if it's challenging, good for you. And take one more breath. And then we're lower nice and slow with control. Heels and the hands to the heart. So good. Let's take a wide stride now. Just take your legs out a little wider on your mat. And then let your toes turn out slightly. It's about a 45 degree. And bring your arms in cactus. Bend your knees so they track over the center of your foot. And then we're just going to take little pulses. So just pulse into the hips. Just getting the hips to open. And you're also developing some strength in those larger muscle groups. So little pulses for 3, for 2, and then 1, stay down there, push the knees out a little bit more, lean the upper body back a little bit if we've leaned forward. That's usually the body's way of cheating. Good, and then just take the hands right on top of the thighs, and now you can lean forward and push the knees out so you get a nice inner thigh stretch. Taking a nice twist here. We don't want to twist with the compressed spine, so lengthen the spine, make sure. Push into your left knee as you dip your left shoulder towards your right inner thigh, and then just start to look up. You might get a natural adjustment there in your back. And then come back to center, same thing other side. Push that right knee away as you dip towards the left inner thigh. Adjustment. And then we'll do that again. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist. Good. And then back to center. And then just pull the seat underneath you, round the spine. So it's like kind of a cat pose. And then inhale, send your hips back. Lift the chest and look up. So you get a nice arching to the spine. Whoa. And then exhale, rounding. So just moving through a cat-cow variation from this position. Just moving the spine. One more time. And rounding. Good, and then just continue to roll all the way up. Turn your feet parallel. Reach the arms out wide. Good. Now turn your left toes to face towards the short edge of your mat. And then just bend into the left knee. Make sure the knee is tracking again over the center of your foot and not towards the big toe. That's a commonality. I find that I even do that myself if I don't pay attention. Okay, and then when you're ready, we're gonna just come to stand, reach up, inhale, straighten the legs, straighten the arms. And then exhale, rebend back into that knee. We're just gonna do that 2 more times. Inhale up. And exhale back into that warrior 2, maybe a little deeper. And then 1 more time, inhale. And exhale, and just hold your warrior 2. And think of how this would be like the Tadasana. You want Tadasana to be here in this pose. And that means, you know, your legs are active. Obviously, they're strong. But your head is not pitching forward and you're not kind of tweaking the arms. You're really open across the chest here. Equal distribution of the weight on your legs and equal stretching across the chest. Take 1 more breath there just to really feel, embody this pose. And then we'll place that left forearm right on your thigh for support. Make sure you're not collapsing here. And then just bring your right hand to your waist. Now open the chest here. See if you can get a little bit more open across your chest. And then start to stretch that arm above and over the ear. So now you're really reaching that right arm away from the right leg. So good. And then looking down, we're just gonna frame our foot. So bring your hands to the floor, frame your foot, roll up onto the ball of your back foot, and then just place that back knee down gently onto your mat. So now you're in a nice low lunge. You can take your blocks, of course, here, place them underneath your hands if you need that. But just giving your body some time to acclimate to the shape. We're just taking good care of everything today. And then let's shift back into a half split. So just flexing the toes towards your nose. And then let's take care of that sciatic nerve. We don't want it to get angry with us at all. We want to keep it happy. So flex the toes and then just rotate through the inner and the outer heel. Just kind of like you're waving your foot to the top of your mat. But this is a nice toning effect on that nerve in the body. Very good. And then let's come all the way back through the low lunge. And then let's just make our way into tabletop, hands and knees. And walk your hands a little further away from you towards the front of your mat and just start to circle through your hips. That should feel good, especially in that left hip that we just worked. So just nice circles, big or small. And then reverse it, go the other way. Sphinx pose. So make your way onto your belly and then just spread your fingers and make sure that they're facing forward. And about, you know, we have like a capital letter H here with our arms. We don't want to sink into the shoulders. We want to stay lifted. And then I know you can't see your legs, but I want you to really get a sense of your feet and your legs. Stretch back through your toes, really long and away from your hips. And then your chest is going to reach up and forward towards the front of your mat, away from your feet. And that's a very intentional way of doing this pose, more therapeutic. And also you want to feel maybe as if you're hugging a block right in between your feet. Good. Just take a couple more breaths here. Nice antidote for sitting, for driving. Good, and then let's lower down. Slide your hands back underneath your shoulders, please. And you want the tips of your shoulders to be, or the top of your shoulder to be right in line with the tips of your fingers. So they might be far back than you think. And then on your inhale, peel the chest up. Don't use your hands very much. Just peel the chest up to this little baby cobra. And now I'm going to have you lift the hands, float the hands up, float the legs up. Stretch the toes back, float the hands up. So good for the low back. So good for the organs, digestion, back strength, posture. Stay with it 2 more breaths. Just keep floating up. Good, and then lower all the way down and just go ahead and push yourself back into a child's pose. I think this is our first child, you guys. So enjoy it. It's a really nice back stretch. Also a pretty deep knee flexion, so take it easy. You can always lift your hips up a little bit away from your heels if needed. But try to allow your forehead just to rest and arms to rest. Staying present. And then let's make our way into our first down dog. But I want this to be really accessible and just really nice. So make sure the hands are nice and rooted. That's the first thing. Curl the toes, lift your hips up and back, but bring your feet out a little bit wider and walk them in a little bit closer, just a little bit. So it's a little bit shorter and a little bit wider dog. Like a little wiener dog. Right? That's eating a little too much, right? So he's a little wider, a little more stable. He likes his snacks. Hands are rooted, feet are rooted, and your spine is long. And this should feel just really good. And then we'll come back for Malasana, squat pose. So walk your hands all the way back towards that space between your feet. And then just drop your hips down as much as you can. It might be that you're up higher. You might not be all the way down like me, and that's okay. Meet your body where it is. Push the knees out and lift the chest. Yeah, just take a couple of breaths here. Good, and let's take the hands down for support and lift the hips up. Walk your feet back in so they're hip distance and make sure you give yourself a generous bend if you need to. Reach for opposite elbows and frame your head and just give yourself a little sway to the right, to the left. And then hands on your hips and press down to rise, nice flat back. And relax the arms. Good. Now I'm going to have you reach the arms up towards the ceiling and lift the right leg up. And just circle through the right ankle and circle through your wrists. So wrist, ankle, everything is moving in a circular way. You're also practicing your balance here. And then go the other way.
I feel like Doris.
What?
I feel like Doris.
And then release, foot down, hands to the heart. Take a moment, take a deep breath, inhale through the nose and then exhale through your mouth. And relax your shoulders. Good, other side, reach the arms up, big breath in, lift your left leg up and then just circle through that left ankle as you circle through the wrists. And if you fell, it's okay, just come back and then go the other way. Never give up. Keep coming back. Keep practicing. Every day's different. And then release, hands to the heart, foot down. Good. Take a breath. Reestablish the breath. And then let's open out wide again. So wide stride. And bring the arms out wide. And then we'll just move to the right side. So turn the right toes to face out towards the short edge of your mat. And then just bend into that knee. And then come back up. Inhale, stretch up, straight leg and arms. And then exhale, rebend. You don't have to go as low as I'm going. Keep going on your own. You just want to make sure the knee is in the right position. And you're just going down low enough so you feel something in your hips. It's just a hip opener. Let's go one more time. Deep breath in. And then exhale, settle into your warrior. Make sure the arms are open equally across your chest. And the weight is evenly distributed in your legs, like you were standing in Tadasana. Relax your shoulders back and down, breathe. This isn't called warrior by accident. It really focuses and works on our focus, our concentration, our strength in our legs. And then place that form on your thigh and bring the left hand to your waist just to get your shoulders to stack. Yeah. And then when you're ready, stretch that left arm over the ear, away from that left leg. And just breathing deeply. It's so important to have a steadiness to your breath when you're in these poses. Sthira Sukha Asana. And then looking down, place the hands to frame your foot. Roll up onto the back toes, and then just place that back knee down gently onto the mat for your low lunge here. And just giving it some time. These muscles get pretty tight. If you have your blocks with you, that's great too. Come on back into the half split. We call this Ardha Hanumanasana, half split pose. And then we can start to rotate inner and the outer heel to take care of that sciatic nerve. Back through the low lunge, and then let's just step back into that tabletop. And again, we'll take those circles just to circle out any tension that's accumulated from the standing poses. And then make sure you reverse it the other way. And lowering all the way down to your belly. And then we'll do a nice shoulder opener here. So reach the right arm all the way out to the side, in line with your right shoulder, not too high, not too low. And then walk it away so you open up the chest and the shoulder a little bit there. And then stack your hips and stack your shoulders so that you're not crunching into that right shoulder. You really want to walk it away so you open it up. And then that top leg, that top left foot can be placed on the floor behind you, knee pointing up. Or just keep your legs stacked if that's better for you. You can also take a wrap here if you like. You can lift the left arm up and wrap it around the base of the spine. Maybe tuck it underneath your right hip. For a little added shoulder and chest opener. But totally not necessary. Right? Just giving you some options. All right, and then we'll just do that on the other side. So nice and gently. Roll back onto your belly. And then we'll stretch that left arm out. And stack your hips or place the foot behind you. Maybe wrap, maybe not. It's all good.
really amazes me about yoga is that, we visit the same postures over and over, and yet I feel different in them every time. I'm always learning in the poses that I've been doing for so many years. It just goes to show you that your body is different, every single time you practice. And the beauty of yoga is that it can travel with you in every stage of your life. That's what I truly love about it. And it creates more acceptance too, about where we are. All right, and then let's roll back onto your belly. And then bring the hands underneath your shoulders, and we'll just come on back into a child's pose again. This time, if you want, you can drape the arms alongside your body. Let the shoulders roll forward, and just allow your forehead to rest. And then let's stretch the arms back forward again. And then let's come on up into tabletop, hands and knees. And let's move our way into a supported puppy pose. And you can also just keep your elbows on the mat if you don't want to use blocks, or if you don't have them, it works either way. But I'm going to use blocks since I have them. I'm going to take my elbows on the blocks. My hands will come together in namaste. I'm going to walk my knees back a little bit so that my hips stay in line with my knees and start to melt the heart and the armpits down. The hands will come to the back of your head, your back of the neck area, and your forehead can find the floor possibly. But there's a couple things to think about here to keep the integrity. Is you want to squeeze the elbows in towards each other just a little bit. Almost like you're trying to move the blocks towards each other or bunch up a blanket. And then keep that as you start to bring your chest down a little bit more. That's really important to stay safe in your shoulders. You don't want to just dump into the shoulder girdle. Just put a little muscle energy there. And we feel so different asymmetrically, right? We're not the same on one side to the other. So just notice those differences. Good. And then really gently, you might want to walk your knees in a little bit to come out of this, a little more gently and safely. And then we'll move the blocks if you're using them off to the side. Place the hands under the shoulders and then just rounding through the spine. So just go into a nice rounded spine, cat pose. Good. And let's take a few cat-cow. So inhale as you lift the chest, arching the spine. And exhale, push the ground away from you and really hollow out the front body, cat pose. Go ahead and do that a couple on your own. Okay, very good. And then let's make our way onto your back. Yay! And then make sure you have your strap with you, because we'll do some strap work. Now that we got some good blood flow to the legs, some energy, some warmth, it's nicer to stretch that way actually. It's, you might get a little bit more depth, more length when we're warmer. So find your way on your back and then just hug your knees into your chest. We'll just take just a couple moments to massage your low back. So rocking a little side to side, or you might want to circle the knees forward and around just to cover more
estate on your low back. Nice massage. And then just draw the right knee in, left leg long. Squeeze into the right hip. Just take a moment to pool the blood there. So we want to create a tourniquet. And then let's take the strap and we'll loop it around the right instep of your right foot and extend through the heels of both your feet. So don't forget about your left leg. Not to sound like a broken record, you guys, but it's like putting Tadasana again in every pose. What would this look like if I was standing? Your left leg would not be asleep, right? It's the one that's holding you up. So make sure the left leg is active, it's firm. And then flex the right foot and just pull the toes towards your nose or towards your forehead. Just to the point where you feel a really nice stretch in the back of that leg. Holding there, check out the shoulders. Relax the shoulders and relax the neck. Good, and then take that strap into the right hand and then reach the left arm out as you bring that right leg all the way out to the side. Think of this as you were standing in a balancing pose. Make sure you're following the flow of your breath. So your focal point is really just inhaling and exhaling, feeling the temperature as it enters the body and leaves the body. And then we'll inhale, bring the leg back up through center. Take a hold of the strap into your left hand and then reach in the right arm out. Keep your right shoulder down if possible. And start to take your right leg over to the left. So check in right now, you guys, with the muscles that surround your neck and shoulders. Can they be just a little bit more relaxed here? Just check in with that. That's a kind of a chronic tension that we hold there, and this is a really good opportunity to relax it. Bringing awareness. Good, and then on your next inhale, come back up. And then let's slide the left foot to the floor. And then just release the strap from your right leg, cross the right ankle right over the left knee, and keep the foot flexed. That's important to support the knee. Keep your low back flat, and then press the right knee away from your body so you feel that nice stretch in the front of the thigh. And if that feels just amazing and you want to stay there, that's perfect. Otherwise, you could explore a little bit different muscle groups by interlacing beyond your left thigh or left knee. And then notice that that stretch goes now towards the back of the thigh, back of the hip. Okay, so listen carefully. Your right leg is going to shoot straight up towards the ceiling or a little bit out in front of you if needed. And your left leg is going to extend down on the mat, but just hover it a couple of inches off the floor. So right leg is up, left leg is out in front of you, hover, and then lift your head and shoulders up so you feel your core engage. And just hold it here for just a few moments. You can do little pulses if you like, little pulses, or just hold it there with the tension on your belly. Lift your shoulders up a little bit more, hold there. And then release everything down. So good. Reach the arms back, reach the legs forward, give yourself a nice big stretch. And then we'll bend up the left knee, interlace the fingers below your left knee and squeeze down into the left hip. Creating that tourniquet. Good, and then now we'll strap up this left side. Just lasso around that left instep. Flex the toes, relax the shoulders and the neck. So oftentimes the chin will jet up towards the ceiling. So if that's happening to you, you can also place a little blanket in the back of the neck for support so that you can bring more extension through the back of the neck by bringing your chin a little more neutral. That's a nice way to just clean up the alignment so you optimize the energy in the body, the energy flow. Keeping the channels open. Good, and then let's take that leg and bring it out to the left. Right arm reaches out to the right. Use the right arm as an anchor. Use the right leg as an anchor. Inhale, coming back up, and then just switch the strap into the right hand as you reach the left arm out now and start to cross the body. So you may have noticed that when we practice, we have a balanced effort. That's really the goal anyway, is we want to be balanced in our effort. We don't want to over effort, but we don't want to under effort. So there's this really nice balanced place. It's easier said than done because I think a lot of us are used to straining and pushing, and that is not what this is about. So it's this beautiful balance between balance and effort, and that's just when you hit that and really experience that, you feel better. You feel like you're building energy rather than depleting your energy. On your next inhale, bring your leg back up and release the strap, and then just bend up that right knee, place the right foot on the floor, cross the left ankle over the right knee. Flex the foot and anchor the small of your back so there's no room for air to sneak in there in the low back. You're taking that natural curve away. And then from there, you press the knee away from the body, just gently. And if you like that, you could stay there or go for a little variation. Interlace beyond the right thigh, right knee, whatever's comfortable. And then you'll just guide that left knee away from you. It's a really good stretch for the hip. Let's all take one more breath together and just let an exhale softly leave the lips. So it's just a nice, like a nice little sigh. Just softly. And then we'll do that little core work on this other side. So now the left leg goes up or a little bit in front of you, and then the right leg is going to extend out. Lift your head and shoulders. The back is flat. Try to lift your shoulder blades up even more.
little pulses if you like. Keeping the tension on. We're not here long. It's pretty effective for 3, 2, and 1. Very good. Reach the arms back, legs forward. Give yourself a nice big stretch. And then bring the arms alongside the body, nice and slow. And slide the soles of the feet to the mat. And now we're just going to walk those shoulder blades a little bit closer underneath you and peel the hips up. Press into your feet. Lift the hips all the way up to bridge. Might want to get those shoulder blades even more underneath you. And if it's available, you can clasp your hands. Press down into the arm bones, down into your feet. And everything else lifts up, including your chin slightly. Breathe for 3 breaths. Good, and then all the way down, nice and slow. And then we'll take a happy baby pose. So draw your knees in, flex your feet towards the ceiling. Don't think you have to reach for the feet to get into this pose. This is one of those poses where you really have to meet your body where it is. Also structurally, some of you have really long legs. You're not going to meet the feet. So bring the hands to the outside of your legs, bend your knees down into the armpits. Mainly you just want to keep the feet facing up towards the ceiling, like you want to put your footprint up there. So get that and then bend the knees and just reach for what you can. Try to get more length to your spine by dropping your chin down and your tailbone down. Shoulders back, knees towards the armpits, breathe. This pose is really about improving the length and more vertebral spacing in our spine. Good, and then just bring the knees together and drop your knees to the right and bring that left arm out to the side and just take a gentle twist there. Breathe and relax. Twisting is so good, not just for the spine health, but it's like it's wringing out a dirty washcloth. It helps our intestines, our organs. And also mentally, it helps to release any kind of mental stress and tension. And then let's take the other side. Knees drop over to the other side. You'll notice one side is a little tighter than the other. Right? That's because there's different organs that live on the right side of the body versus the left side of the body. And we hold tension on different sides of the body. Very nice. You guys, then let's just, when you're ready, take your time. Come back to center, hug your knees in. And then take your block or 2, and we're going to finish with a really nice, gentle inversion. The legs up. So 1 block or 2 block, whatever you want to use. Depends on how high you want to get your hips up there. You can also take 1 block and flip it up on its side for a little bit higher. And then just take your legs up. Just take your legs up, and your ankles and knees should stack right over your hips, so you're not efforting too much in the core or anything. It's just effortless. You should just be able to hang your legs up. You could put a soft bend in the knees. But this is so good for so many things. Our circulation, if you're hiking a lot. I know at least 1 or 2 of you hike a lot, and this is really, really good just for the circulation in the legs. For tired legs, if you stand a lot, drive a lot. And then you're reversing the blood flow, so you're getting this fresh, oxygenated, nutrient-filled blood, which is what's healing you, by the way, that's rushing to your abdomen, to your heart, to your brain, and all of the important glands in the upper body, the lymph. So very, very healthy. Try to stay with it just another 30 more seconds or so. This will also give you a little burst of energy to get through your day. It's relaxing, but it's also, it gives you this little burst of energy, grounded energy, not espresso caffeinated energy. Okay, and then take your feet down. We'll just take a supported bridge here, keeping your knees bent, or you can extend your legs out straight if you want to go for a little more opening into the front body. And just enjoy that for a few breaths. Very good, you guys, and we can set up now nicely for Shavasana. You can slide the block out. You can also pull your knees in for a moment just to give yourself the balance. And then making your way into a comfortable Shavasana position for a little bit of breath focus here. It'll help to support a nice, relaxing Shavasana. So once you get comfortable, we'll practice 1 to 2 breathing, which just means you're doubling your exhale. So just take in a breath that's comfortably big for you. Could be 3 seconds, could be 4, it could be 6. And then you're doubling the exhale. So maybe 6 or 8 or 12 seconds. Just make sure you're not straining with this and trying to make it bigger than you're ready for. That will come over time. So just go ahead and practice that a couple rounds on your own. And a little intentional work here would be as you exhale, try to exhale all the things that are not serving you. Thought processes, tension in the body, negative thinking. And when you inhale, bring in all of the qualities that you want to embody, that you want more of. Do one more round like that with that in mind. Very nice. And then make yourself a little more comfortable if you need to. Stretch the legs out if you're in Baddha Konasana, just so that the blood can flow freely. Place one hand on your heart and one hand on your belly. And you can repeat this quietly to yourself, or you can say this out loud, but they're really nice affirmations to end with. Your body is listening, to everything you're saying. Joyful, energetic body. And just say that again to yourself. Joyful, energetic body. compassionate, loving heart. Compassionate, loving heart. Lightness of being. Regardless of your weight, your stature, we want to bring in a lightness, a quality of lightness to our being. And clear, steady mind. Clear and steady mind. Good, and just rest. Let your body process this really wonderful, nourishing information from your practice. And of course you can stay a little bit longer if you have the time to just rest a little longer. But I will officially just end this practice today. Remember, you can always go back to this practice again if you liked it. Give it a thumbs up. I always appreciate that. Or maybe put a little comment in the comment box as long as it's friendly. And remember, I'm not going to be here for next Saturday, but there'll be plenty of practices to enjoy on my channel. So wherever you are, if you have it lying down, you can just bring your hands together at the heart, honoring the light within. And I'm honoring the light that also recognizes in you, that's also in me. Namaste.